Hey guys, so recently I've been seeing a lot of commentary and a lot of criticism on the movie Tall Girl, and I myself have just seen this movie like about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and I want to give my own commentary, and I want to mention as to why I don't think Tall Girl is the most successful Netflix movie. I think To All the Boys I've Loved Before was a little bit better, especially because of the book, and the book had a lot of success as well, but Tall Girl did not do so good. So if you haven't watched it, I'll go ahead and read the description for you. I'm hoping this won't spoil anything, but you probably won't want to watch it by the end of this video anyway, so it doesn't matter. When the tallest girl in high school falls for a handsome foreign exchange student, she becomes embroiled in a surprising love triangle and realizes she's far more than her insecurities about her height have led her to believe. Okay. I'm looking at the IMDb and the Rotten Tomato ratings, and they have not good ratings, 5.5 out of 10 and 29%. Yikes. Barbara Schulgasser, who says, this rom-com will resonate with teens who feel different at a time in life when blending in is often the goal. What the heck, Barbara? Elizabeth, however, from the New York Times says, America's mood has changed, and many viewers might not feel much empathy for the small-minded grievances of healthy teens driving to school in SUVs. Go off, Elizabeth. Now, I just want to make a quick video on why Tall Girl is making everyone just pissed off. One of the biggest things is it doesn't talk about real-life problems. I think the fact that this movie was published and let out into the world right now in a time where it doesn't matter what your height is and it doesn't matter what the popular girl thinks. That's not a thing anymore. What really does matter is mental illnesses and future expectations like careers and colleges and all this future stuff, depression, anxiety, at-home conflicts, unrealistic expectations. And then obviously one of the most traumatic ones that's been happening recently is school shootings, which is one of the biggest things. We feel unsafe everywhere. Students everywhere feel unsafe just even going to school when it should be a safe place. We are ingrained in our brains how to protect ourselves. We are given these orders. We are given lockdowns in school where we have to hide under our desks and we have to pretend that it's okay that there might be someone outside. I've had plenty of times when I was in high school and middle school where we literally had lockdowns and there was helicopters above our school because they thought someone was on the loose and they were gonna hurt us. That is not safe. Those are real life problems, and that's what's bothering people. Now, I get it. Insecurities are awful, and I'm not saying no one is entitled to have an insecurity because we all do. I just think that people nowadays just want real stories. We're so fed up with that spoon-fed type of structure, especially in like high school movies where like we're so fed up with that structure of this is how everything goes all the time in high school when it doesn't. High school stories are so different depending on the person. If you think about it, it's always like girl is insecure and often bullied. The new guy finds the girl interesting, but he's dating the popular girl and the popular girl's holding him back. And then things happen. Guy realizes he loves her when she shows up after like a giant makeover. And she shows up to the school dance just looking amazing, and suddenly he's just like, oh my god, I love you. I must be a weird person to want to genuinely feel emotions when I'm watching a film, like genuinely feel like I want to cry or genuinely feel like I want to laugh or feel some type of way towards the main character, but I felt nothing. I felt stale. I felt like a stale chip. But I do think that the writing was just very low on par, especially during the jokes. Come on, like, are you really gonna do a joke about like how's the weather up there to a tall girl? Like, we're so used to that. It wasn't humorous whatsoever. Number 3 is the odd encounters that everyone faces in this movie. And I think one of the biggest things that really just I did not get was the making out scene in the escape rooms. What group of kids hide in an escape room and just make out? Like they have like a 3-way makeout. That's just so triggering. Like I could just imagine the college students working as employees at that escape room and just being like, ugh. Who does that? Who makes out in a freaking escape room? Who does that? But the characters are really just something else. They just did not make any sense. I must say that one of my favorite characters was actually Jack Dunkelman, which is kind of like the comedy relief of this whole situation. As if these characters couldn't get any weirder, for some weird reason, Jack Dunkelman carries a whole crate as a backpack. The whole entire time, there's no reasoning behind it. He just carries a little crate. But at least he had something different from everyone else. Like, I've never seen anyone carry a crate. The weirdest thing in the whole entire world, but it's different. I think that's the only reason why I liked his character. I think another character that people didn't really put much attention on was Schnipper, whatever his name is. In the beginning of the movie, Schnipper bullies Jody. He ends up calling her and telling her, like, hey, it's me, the foreign exchange student. I want to ask you out on a date. And then it's revealed after that it was Schnipper, like the football player that's friends with, like, the popular girl. But then literally a couple minutes after that, he goes up to her and he's like, I'm going to confess my love to you. I like you. And I guess it kind of makes sense because haters can really just be obsessed with you in that sense. But I think there's like a deeper storyline within this, which there probably isn't. And I'm just trying to just make this film a little better by imagining storylines in my head. But I have a feeling that Liz, that popular girl, is somehow building this factory. And she has minions, kind of like Despicable Me. And Schnipper is one of those minions. And Schnipper is like that minion. And the minion can really symbolize us who are just following every rule that the conglomerate media, the big corporations are putting onto us, and these beliefs that the big corporations and this government is putting onto us. Which brings me to my next point, which is minions are the devil. What sucks is that this movie was also very predictable, and that's what sucks with a lot of high school movies. It doesn't bring a fresh type of genre, fresh type of idea, and even though it's Netflix, which they're very, very keen about making ideas fresh and very original, and they're normally one of my favorites, for some reason, Tall Girl just did not do it. Sure, the mental aspect of insecurity is awful, and I feel bad for anyone that had to go through that or is going through that, and I'm sorry, but for a movie that is really trying to capture today's society, there is much more content that could have been put into this story to make a great film. Even just putting Jody through more hardships could have been maybe a little bit better. In conclusion, I think that the high school stories that are being told with characters that drive SUVs and have giant houses and have parents that are just well off are getting kind of boring, and also just having a main character that has a premise that is so easy to approach. I think those movies are just kind of a beaten path. Like, I think those movies are just into the gutter now, and people don't want to watch those movies. I think what people want to watch right now is real life stories. I think On My Block is doing really well with showing different types of characters that are living different types of lives, and they all come together and they all have a premise and they all have a goal. And it's really fresh and really interesting to see characters like this that come from families that don't have big SUVs and don't have big giant houses and don't go to private schools or charter schools or whatever. People that are people in a sense. I think that's what can make a film successful, when people relate to it. So with that said, I think that's all I have to say for this movie. It was whatever, honestly. I wouldn't really watch it again. For the moment being, I just watched it because everyone was really just hating on it. And yeah, let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me, whatever it is. And I think that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like down below, and I'll see you later.